somewhere on the planet, nature holds secrets that almost no one has discovered. They are hidden wonders that remain outside of time and far from human sight. There, the silence tells stories older than any civilization. Every shape and every shadow seems to reveal something that the Earth still wishes to protect. Join us on this journey to discover the true secrets of natural wonders that the world has overlooked. The Darvaza gas crater, also known as the Gate of Hell, is one of the most famous gas craters in the world, located in Turkmenistan. It is a 98 feet deep crater with a diameter of 227 feet. Since 1971, the fire in this crater has been burning continuously, creating a mysterious and unique landscape. The reason the fire never goes out is due to the methane gas leaking from the ground, a highly flammable gas. At night, the light from the flames creates a stunning sight, attracting many tourists and photographers. The surrounding landscape has no life due to the high temperatures and methane gas, but this creates a quiet and mysterious atmosphere. The Darvaza gas crater is not only a strange natural sight, but also a testament to the impact of gas extraction activities on the environment. Glimmer is one of the tallest waterfalls in Iceland, reaching a height of about 650 feet, and is located in a deep basalt canyon that can only be accessed by hiking on unpaved trails. The hike to the waterfall takes around 2 to 3 hours and includes crossing rivers, climbing slopes, and passing through caves, offering a physically demanding but visually rewarding experience. The trail is lined with moss and lichen growing on rocks, showing the ecosystem's adaptation to cold and dry conditions. The waterfall drops from nearly 650 feet into a narrow canyon, creating a strong echo that matches the meaning of the name Glimmer. Because there is no major tourist infrastructure, the local wildlife and vegetation remain mostly untouched by humans. A local legend tells of a sea creature that swam inland and turned to stone at the top of the waterfall, adding a mythical aspect to the site. Antelope Canyon is a famous canyon located in Arizona, USA, known for its unique beauty created by sunlight hitting curved sandstone walls. It was formed over millions of years by flooding and wind, creating walls between 100 and 120 feet tall with colors like orange, red, and purple. The native Navajo people consider this a sacred place, important for ceremonies, prayers, and harmony with nature. Today, Antelope Canyon is one of the most popular tourist spots in America, attracting millions of visitors each year for sightseeing and photography. Tourism here not only protects the canyon's natural beauty, but also supports local economic growth and raises awareness about nature conservation. Een Crater lies deep in a volcanic region, accessible only by hiking up steep paths through mist and thick sulfur smells. The crater stands out with a large turquoise acid lake cradled inside towering cliffs hundreds of feet tall. The acid lake here is considered one of the strongest in the world, with a pH level close to 0. Unlike ordinary volcanic craters, Een Crater blends mesmerizing beauty with deadly danger from toxic gases and rugged terrain. Standing before dancing blue flames over the shimmering lake, visitors deeply feel their smallness before nature's harsh yet breathtaking power. Een not only amazes people, but also stirs profound respect for the extraordinary beauty of Earth. Danakil Depression lies about 410 feet below sea level and is considered one of the hottest places on Earth. The area is famous for its endless salt flats, acid hot springs, active volcanoes, and strangely colorful lakes. Average daytime temperatures can exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, creating an extremely harsh and difficult environment to access. Unlike any other place, Danakil Depression gives the feeling of stepping onto an alien planet with surreal and ever-shifting landscapes. Formed by powerful tectonic forces, this region is one of the fastest changing places on Earth. Standing before this scenery, people clearly feel the fragility of life and the greatness of silent natural forces constantly reshaping the planet. Landwasser is a waterfall system stretching nearly 2,000 feet, where hundreds of small streams flow from cracks under basalt lava and drop directly into the river below. Unlike typical waterfalls, Fossa has no surface flow from a mountain top but appears directly from underground, forming thin, white streams over the dark rock. This formation comes from ancient volcanic activity where underground water was trapped under hot rock and later escaped through natural openings. The scenery is quiet and unusual, with no crashing sounds, just soft flowing from hundreds of tiny streams. Local legend says these streams are the land's tears after violent eruptions, seen as a sign of cleansing by ancient people. The freshwater ecosystem here is extremely pure and supports many cold water fish species. Chamonix Valley, located at the foot of Mont Blanc, is one of the most iconic destinations in France, with its stunning natural scenery. This area is surrounded by towering mountains, lush valleys, and majestic glaciers, creating a breathtaking natural landscape. With a height of over 15,000 feet, Mont Blanc is the highest peak in Western Europe and always stands as the highlight of the region. The ecosystem here is diverse, home to wild animals such as deer, elk, and rare bird species. In addition, Chamonix is also linked to mysterious stories about the spirits of missing climbers, adding to the region's mystique, making it an intriguing destination for nature lovers and those seeking unresolved mysteries. Cappadocia in Turkey is famous for its unique scenery, featuring thousands of chimney-shaped rock formations ranging from 50 to 130 feet high. These strange rocks were formed from volcanic ash millions of years ago. Locals carved these rocks into houses, hotels, churches, and even large underground cities capable of housing thousands of people. Cappadocia is also an ideal spot for visitors to experience hot air balloon rides each early morning, enjoying impressive views from above. The area is also well known for unique cave hotels and a history of winemaking stretching back more than 4,000 years. Cappadocia was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1985, thanks to its remarkable buildings carved into rock, especially ancient churches and monasteries built between the 4th and 11th centuries. Kelimutu is a unique volcano with 3 lakes sitting side by side, each showing a different color, like deep blue, dark red, or pitch black. The strange thing is that the color of these lakes changes over time, sometimes completely shifting in just one night. This phenomenon happens because of chemical reactions caused by volcanic gases and minerals mixing under the lake's surface. At certain times, the lake water turns blood red or pure black, making the scenery look like a surreal dream world. Locals believe that each lake is the resting place of souls based on their age or personality, adding a strong spiritual meaning to the site. Although the lakes look like paintings, the water is highly acidic and can slowly corrode light metal if left in contact too long. Lake Tahoe is one of the most beautiful and deepest freshwater lakes in North America, known for its clear, turquoise waters. The lake covers about 191 square miles and has a depth of 1645 feet, making it an ideal destination for outdoor activities. Surrounding the lake are the majestic Sierra Nevada mountains, along with pine forests and white sand beaches, creating a perfect space for relaxation and nature exploration. The name Lake Tahoe comes from the word Da-A-W in the Washoe language, meaning big lake, reflecting the true size of the lake. A mysterious story linked to the lake is the legend of strange phenomena, like UFOs appearing in the sky over the lake at night, making it not only a natural paradise, but also a place full of mystery. Valet Des Moore is a remote and mystical valley in Mauritania, famous for its dry landscape and vast sand dunes. The rare underground water sources in the desert create oases where life can survive. The area is known for extreme temperatures that can reach 100 degrees, adding to the harshness of the environment. Valet Des Moore is also linked to the history of nomadic tribes and ancient caravan routes, witnessing many migrations and disappearances in the sand. Despite being a harsh land, it holds deep cultural values from the people who have survived through centuries. With its combination of majestic nature and ancient culture, Valet Des Moore attracts those who love to explore and study geography and ecology. Trolltunga is one of the most popular destinations in Norway, attracting people who love nature and adventure. This rock sits about 3,600 feet above sea level and sticks out around 33 feet from a high cliff, making it a unique place to enjoy the view. To reach it, visitors must hike about 17 miles round trip, which takes from 8 to 12 hours. Trolltunga has no safety rail, and people can stand right on the edge, feeling like they are floating in the air. The view from the rock is amazing, with green-blue water, rocky mountains, and snow all around. The rock was formed during the Ice Age, thousands of years ago. Even though the hike is hard, this place is a dream photo spot for many travelers. Preikestolen, also known as Pulpit Rock, is a famous tourist spot in Norway known for its unique and stunning scenery. The cliff rises about 1982 feet above sea level and was formed naturally more than 1,000 years ago during the Ice Age. It has a flat surface about 82 feet by 82 feet and offers a spectacular view of the clear blue bay and surrounding rocky mountains. The hiking path to the top is about 2 miles long, suitable for most visitors who enjoy walking and exploring nature. Although not tied to any specific religion, its majestic beauty often gives visitors a sense of how small humans are compared to nature. Today, Preikestolen is a popular attraction visited by more than 3,000 people every year, greatly contributing to Norway's tourism and economy and becoming a symbol of the country. The Meteora monasteries are located in the Thessaly region of central Greece. They are famous for their unique location on sandstone rock pillars that are 1,000 to 1,800 feet high. These giant rock formations were created by natural erosion over millions of years, forming a very impressive landscape. Meteora means floating in the air, in Greek, clearly describing the monasteries looking like they are floating in the sky. The monasteries were first built in the 14th century as peaceful places for monks to live away from everyday life. Today, only 6 monasteries remain active, attracting many visitors. Visitors can climb up, explore spiritual life, see ancient architecture, wall paintings, and historical items. Banff National Park is the oldest national park in Canada, located in the Rocky Mountains in Alberta. The park covers an area of about 2,500 square miles, featuring towering peaks and clear lakes like Lake Louise and Moraine. The natural scenery here is diverse, from lush pine forests to magnificent waterfalls. Besides its natural beauty, Banff holds significant cultural value, with resorts and hot springs discovered in the late 19th century. The park is an ideal destination for visitors who enjoy outdoor activities like hiking, skiing in winter, and kayaking in summer. Banff is not only a tourist paradise, but also a place that preserves many rare wildlife species and a unique high-altitude ecosystem. Namib Desert is famous for the strange fairy circles, bare soil rings with diameters from about 6 to over 40 feet across. They sit between short grasses, forming geometric patterns that stretch endlessly across the bright red desert sand. Some scientists believe termites created them, while others think plants adjust spacing to survive in dry environments. At sunrise or sunset, shadows from the rings create three-dimensional illusions that are difficult to explain. From satellite images, the circles appear to stretch for hundreds of miles without a clear beginning or end. This is one of the most fascinating and debated geological mysteries found anywhere on Earth. Neuschwanstein Castle is one of the most beautiful castles in the world, built in the 19th century under the direction of King Ludwig II of Bavaria. The castle sits on a cliff about 800 feet above the valley, offering stunning views of the surrounding area. With its unique Gothic and Romanesque architecture, the castle features tall spires, creating a distinct look. Although construction was interrupted when King Ludwig II passed away in 1886, the castle has been well preserved and remains one of the most attractive tourist destinations in Germany. In addition to its stunning architecture, The surrounding landscape is also special, with forests, lakes, and the Alps creating a beautiful backdrop. The castle also inspired the Disneyland Castle in Walt Disney's theme park. Lake Natron is a special saltwater lake with high alkalinity, formed through long geological processes and mineral water flowing down from volcanoes. The lake's temperature can rise above 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and the pH can reach up to 10.5, creating harsh conditions for life. The water color changes with sunlight from deep red to orange-pink, caused by bacteria and algae thriving in the extreme environment. Despite the harsh setting, it is the main breeding ground for hundreds of thousands of lesser flamingos every single year. The high salt levels help protect the eggs and young birds from natural predators, creating a uniquely safe habitat. Lake Natron is also tied to local legends, seen as a sacred place between life and death in traditional beliefs. Arches National Park is located in Utah in the southwestern United States, is famous for more than 2,000 beautiful natural rock arches. These arches were formed by wind, water, and extreme weather over millions of years. And range from several dozen to over 100 feet tall. The rocks have vivid colors like red, orange, and yellow that glow brightly under the sunlight. This area was once sacred land for Native American tribes associated with their hunting and beliefs. The park was officially established in 1971 to protect and showcase these unique natural wonders. Visitors can hike, climb, and enjoy spectacular views of the rock arches, especially at sunrise or sunset. The greatest value of Arches National Park is its role in preserving special geological landscapes and reminding people of the harmonious relationship between humans and nature. Erta Ale is a volcano located in a dry and scorching area of Ethiopia. This is one of the most unique volcanoes in the world, with a continuously active lava lake, a very rare phenomenon. This lava lake has existed for several decades and creates a truly impressive sight. The volcano sits on a geological rift, creating large cracks on the surface of the land. The surrounding land is very arid and has a high average temperature, making it an extremely harsh environment. With the shape of the volcano's crater being round and the lava bubbling, Erta Ale is known as the Volcano of Hell. This location is very hard to reach, and visitors need to walk through barren lands and scorching deserts. Etretat stands out with its white limestone arches and tall rock spires rising hundreds of feet from the sea, creating a dramatic coastal scene rarely found in Europe. These formations were shaped by millions of years of erosion, leaving natural structures like giant arches and needle-like rocks carved against the sky. The ecosystem here is strictly protected and is home to many seabird species that nest directly on the vertical cliffs. Etretat inspired many Impressionist painters and appeared in literary works with mystery plots linked to hidden sea caves behind the White Cliffs. When the tide goes out, visitors can walk along the exposed seabed to reach the base of the cliffs and hear echoes from inside the sea caves. This experience happens only for a short time each day and fully depends on sea level and weather conditions. Vatnajökull National Park is one of the largest and most beautiful national parks in Iceland, known for its giant glaciers, volcanoes, and majestic waterfalls. This park includes Vatnajökull, the largest glacier in Europe, with an area of over 3,100 square miles. What makes it special is the combination of ice and fire, creating a stunning landscape with glaciers, rivers, glacial lakes, and active volcanoes. Not only does it have great natural value, but Vatnajökull is also deeply tied to Icelandic culture, where ancient Viking tribes once lived and thrived. With its diverse ecosystem and key role in climate change research, Vatnajökull National Park is not just a place to visit, but an important part of Iceland's natural preservation. The Landwasser Viaduct in Switzerland is one of the most impressive railway bridges in the world. The bridge is about 450 feet long and nearly 200 feet high, with 6 curved stone arches crossing a deep gorge. What makes it special is that the bridge is not straight, but curved, and connects directly to a tunnel through the mountain. When the train crosses the bridge, it creates an amazing scene, especially in winter when everything is covered in white snow. The bridge still works normally after more than 100 years without changing its original structure. It is a symbol of mountain engineering, where no scaffolding was used during construction. This viaduct is not just a railway line, but also a great place to visit on a trip through Switzerland. Provence is a region famous for its Mediterranean climate and produces nearly 50% of France's olive oil, is one of the highest quality olive oil producers in the world. With the ideal climate conditions, Provence is also an excellent place to grow grapes and produce wine, especially rosé wine. Roman monuments, such as the Pont du Gard Bridge, are some of the ancient and famous landmarks in Provence. Provence is also known for its vast lavender fields, which are not only beautiful but also have high economic value in the cosmetics industry. Provence was once an important trading center during Roman times and still retains many ancient features that attract visitors from all over the world. Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain in Africa, standing at 19,341 feet above sea level. It is an ancient volcano formed millions of years ago and is still a popular destination for explorers and mountain climbers. The name Kilimanjaro may come from the Arabic word Kilimanjaro, which means white mountain, referring to the snow that covers its summit. The landscape is remarkable, with diverse ecosystems ranging from tropical forests at the base to permanent snow at the peak. While not a formal religious site, Kilimanjaro holds deep spiritual significance for many local communities and visitors. The mountain plays an important role in Tanzania's economy by attracting tourists and creating job opportunities for local people. However, the melting of snow at the summit has become a major issue due to climate change. Zhangye de Bemaraha is a unique stone forest formed millions of years ago by underground water-dissolving limestone and natural erosion. The sharp stone pillars rise straight into the sky, some reaching over 230 feet tall, creating a surreal landscape like a petrified forest. Sunlight shining on the white stone towers makes them glow brightly against the blue sky. Despite the rugged terrain, this area is home to many rare species like lemurs, leaf-tailed geckos, and over 100 species of birds. Today, exploring Tsingy de Bemaraha is carefully managed with special trails and suspension bridges over narrow stone gaps. These efforts aim to protect the fragile ecosystem and preserve both natural and cultural values for future generations. Zhangye Danxia National Geological Park is famous for its colorful mountains formed over 24 million years ago by sandstone and mineral deposits along with natural erosion. These geological layers created red, orange, yellow, and white bands that wave like ocean ripples across an area of several dozen square miles. During sunrise or sunset, the entire region glows brightly like a giant oil painting in the desert. This area is also home to drought-resistant shrubs, birds of prey, and desert reptiles, forming a unique ecosystem in a dry landscape. Because of its scientific and scenic value, it was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2010. The Chinese government enforces strict conservation rules like limiting daily visitors and setting fixed paths to protect the fragile rock layers from erosion. Black Beach is a beach known for its distinct black sand, formed by volcanic rock fragments. The beach has strong and dangerous waves, making swimming difficult and potentially risky for visitors without proper skills. The sand can heat up to 160 degrees during the summer, enough to cause burns if touched for too long. Additionally, this area is located near active volcanoes, making Black Beach a site with risks of earthquakes and eruptions. The waters near the beach are often unstable with whirlpools, increasing the danger for those wanting to engage in water activities. Lauterbrunnen has no gate, but anyone arriving must pass through a narrow gorge that feels like a border between two worlds. Its name comes from medieval times, referring to the sound of high waterfalls echoing across the valley. The houses are built entirely from aged mountain wood, with matching window sizes and steep roofs, as if following an unspoken rule. There are no streetlights. People still use oil lamps to mark a birth or a death, following a passed-down ritual, signaling a change. A local story tells of the Stein family's disappearance in 1813. The house left untouched, the stove still warm, but no one returned. Once a month, the village meets in the only house with a clock that never chimes, because according to the key keeper, the bell might call back something that should not return. Grindelwald is not surrounded by walls, but its cliffs have kept strangers away for centuries. The old wooden houses all face the same direction, not for harmony, but to avoid the mountain shadow that blocks sunlight at the end of winter, a detail only long-time residents know. In 1794, the entire village moved uphill for 3 days, not because of a storm or war, but to avoid the white figure at early dawn, according to a bellkeeper's surviving record. Today, no one speaks of that event, but when the cold returns, villagers quietly place a pine branch by their doors. There are no signposts, and paths within the village seem to shift with the seasons, a pattern once studied but never explained. Grindelwald holds no large festivals, only a yearly gathering during the first spring full moon, where greetings must be spoken in low tones and no one makes direct eye contact. Iseltwald is the only lakeside village with no bypass road, where every path stops at the water's edge. The houses face the lake, but no one swims or rows after sunset. A silent rule since 1862, when a still shadow was seen in the reflection with no figure above. Each home has a small window under the roof, not for ventilation, but to let a soul leave without shifting the tiles. People avoid saying real names at night, and children often share the same middle name as a form of unseen protection. Iseltwald never appeared on any 19th century military maps, though its location has never changed. The reason for its omission remains officially unexplained. Texel is the largest island in the Dutch Wadden chain, located northwest of the mainland and surrounded by shallow seas with changing tides. The island features white sand dunes, tidal marshes, and coastal grasslands that support dozens of migratory bird species each year. Texel serves as a biological buffer between land and sea, helping regulate the coastal ecosystem and providing a habitat for grey seals and oyster catchers. During World War II, the island witnessed a surprise uprising by Georgian soldiers against Nazi forces, leaving behind bomb craters and hidden trenches in the forest. Each season, the island's surface changes due to wind and water currents, requiring scientists to constantly update its topographic maps. Tjernuvik is a remote village in the Faroe Islands. Located by the sea and surrounded by steep cliffs. The landscape has stayed the same for centuries, with black sand beaches, windy grasslands, and high mountains forming an isolated environment. The cold oceanic climate and high humidity support an ecosystem with ancient moss, lichens, dwarf grass, and migratory seabirds. A mysterious echo from the cliffs has been recorded to last up to 8 seconds, even without a clear sound source. Visitors can hike along the mountain slopes to view the open ocean and experience fast weather shifts typical of the subarctic zone. Here, every movement slows down, and close contact with nature becomes a simple but powerful survival experience. Valbona Valley is located in northern Albania and sits at an average elevation of about 3,300 feet, stretching across limestone mountains marked by steep slopes and narrow canyons. A key feature is the Valbona River, which has a pale blue color formed by glacial melt and underground springs within limestone blocks, and its path shifts with seasonal ground collapse. The geology includes stacked layers of limestone and dolomite, forming a network of underground cracks where water can vanish completely during dry periods. In 1984, 2 geological surveyors disappeared while exploring a deep rock fissure, and their bodies were never recovered. Some valley slopes have such a high density of loose rock that a single step can trigger a slide extending hundreds of feet downward. Recent mapping has identified zones with unusually weak radar reflection aligned along an east-west axis. Gorges du Verdon is a region known for its steep cliffs, reaching up to 2,300 feet, making hiking and outdoor activities very dangerous. The Verdon River flowing through the area has strong currents, which can cause accidents for those unfamiliar with fast-moving water. The area also has many sharp rocks, increasing the risk of injury when moving through the rugged terrain. It is noteworthy that this area lacks phone signals and official rescue services, making emergencies extremely dangerous. Additionally, sudden weather changes can cause flash floods and surprise visitors. Thon is located where the mountains meet the lake, once a Roman military stronghold, with underground tunnels still connecting the fortress to the water's edge. The city's history records at least 3 sudden changes in lake flow within just a few hours, with no clear natural explanation. Some ancient texts describe a non-permeable rock zone beneath the lake, creating an area of water that never freezes, even in deep cold. Today, Thun serves as a key trade hub and headwater management center, hosting several critical automated water level sensors for the Bern region. Despite modern development, the old riverside district still preserves its original floating wooden decks, including walking bridges with unusual curves believed to be rebuilt from a lost 18th century design. A section of the southern town wall has no confirmed construction date, but its foundation stones match a quarry over 20 miles away, which has now completely collapsed. Zhangye and Tianmen Mountain are 2 famous destinations in China, known for their amazing and powerful natural scenery. The stone pillars rise more than 1,000 feet into the sky, covered by forests and mist, making the place look like a movie scene. Tianmen Mountain is striking with its Heaven's Gate, about 420 feet high, and a mountain road with 99 sharp turns. It is not only a tourist attraction, but also holds deep cultural value connected to Taoist beliefs and mountain worship traditions. Ancient temples on the mountaintop are places where people go to pray. Today, this place is a symbol of natural beauty and modern engineering in China, and a must-visit for nature and adventure lovers. Skogen is one of the rare places in Europe where post-glacial land uplift still occurs, causing the ground to rise each year and slowly reshape the coastal landscape. The park features steep cliffs, deep natural crevices, and narrow valleys between ancient pine forests. Its ecosystem is rich, with moose, lynxes, wolverines, and many birds of prey common in the Nordic region. A special location here is Slotdalsskriven, a crevice nearly 23 feet wide and over 130 feet deep, once used for rituals and linked to legends about the spirit world. There are no paved roads or large buildings, so the entire journey must be done on foot, offering a full experience of wild nature. Changi Singapore Airport stands out, with its incredible natural beauty inside its premises. Gardens like the Orchid Garden and Cloud Forest offer a peaceful space between flights. The Orchid Garden displays thousands of orchid species from around the world, creating a colorful and beautiful atmosphere. The cloud forest, with a 40-foot waterfall and artificial clouds, gives the feeling of being in a tropical rainforest. Built in 1981, Zhangye quickly became a symbol of progress and is one of the busiest airports in the world. A mysterious story associated with the Jewel complex involves the largest indoor waterfall, with legends of spirits and the protection of nature. Lake Nakuru is known for its wide waters covered by tens of thousands of flamingos, creating a bright pink color that stretches to the horizon. When the birds move, the surface of the water seems to breathe with nature, making the scene feel alive and magical. The lake lies in a low area, surrounded by trees and gentle hills, reflecting the blue sky and white clouds beautifully. The name Nakuru comes from the Maasai language and means dust or place where the wind blows, showing the dry and open land around the lake. This is not only home to flamingos, but also to water birds, black rhinos, leopards, giraffes, and many other wild animals. Local people believe the mass gathering of flamingos is a sacred sign, showing balance and harmony from nature. Garajone is a national park located on a volcanic island, known for its ancient laurel forest that has remained unchanged since the Tertiary period. The area maintains ideal conditions for over 2,000 plant species, thanks to constant moisture from Atlantic fog, with many species found nowhere else in Europe. Rare birds like the laurel pigeon and canary quail live only in this humid forest zone. Garajone is also tied to the legend of lovers Gara and Jone, who were said to have died on the mountain, leaving sacred traces in the forest. Because of its remote island location and rugged terrain, the forest remains ecologically isolated and protected from invasive species. Visitor routes are strictly controlled to preserve the natural environment and support sustainable ecotourism that does not harm the native ecosystem. Stora Sjofallet is one of Sweden's oldest national parks, located in northern Lapland and established in 1909 to protect mountain and glacier ecosystems. The park features steep cliffs, large lakes, and permanent ice around mountain peaks over 6,562 feet, forming a closed natural system with high scientific value. It is home to wild reindeer, brown bears, and snowy owls, with many animals tracked by chips for subarctic climate research. Some lakes have ancient geological structures with low pH deep water layers, allowing ancient microorganisms to survive for thousands of years. Etosha Pan is a giant salt flat in the semi-desert of Namibia, shining white all the way to the horizon. In the dry season, its surface is covered with salt and fine dust, glowing under the sunlight like a giant mirror. When the rains come, the area turns into a temporary lake, attracting thousands of flamingos and water birds. Etosha Pan is about 75 miles long and nearly 31 miles wide, and is the center of a rich ecosystem with elephants, lions, antelopes, and zebras. Etosha Pan is not just a stunning natural scene, but also a sign of strong life adapting in hard conditions. It is a perfect place for anyone who loves wild nature and wants to feel the power of untamed Africa. Meteor Crater is a famous meteor crater located in the state of Arizona, USA. It is one of the largest and best-preserved craters on Earth. This crater has a diameter of about 4,000 feet and a depth of 570 feet. It was formed by a collision of a meteor weighing about 3,000 tons about 5,000 years ago. The landscape around the crater is mainly dry desert, with rocks and sandy soil typical of the region. The crater is circular in shape, surrounded by steep stone walls. Meteor Crater is an important research site for meteors and the impact of meteor collisions on Earth. Visitors here can join tours and admire the full view of the crater from observation points. Leshan Giant Buddha is the largest stone Buddha statue in the world, located in China, with a height of up to 203 feet. The statue was built during the Tang dynasty starting in 713 and completed after 90 years to bring safety and peace to local people. The head alone measures about 48 feet long. The shoulders are around 92 feet wide, the ears reach 23 feet long, and the nose is about 18 feet long. A special feature of the Buddha is that it was carved directly into the cliff face, with a unique drainage system inside to protect it from rain and weather for thousands of years. The feet of the statue are so large that about 100 people can comfortably sit on them. Leshan Giant Buddha was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1996 and has become a famous spiritual destination visited by millions of tourists from around the world each year. San Juan Parangaricutiro is a unique location in Mexico, famous for a village destroyed by a volcanic eruption in the 1940s. During this disaster, the Paracutan volcano erupted and submerged most of the village, but part of the San Juan church still stands amidst the lava. This church, although heavily damaged, remains an important landmark, attracting both tourists and researchers. The location of San Juan Parangaricutiro in the volcanic region has created a barren and mysterious landscape where black lava and tall mountain peaks form an impressive natural scene. It is an attractive tourist destination for those who love exploring the combination of natural disaster and human resilience. This place is not only a historical monument, but also a site that educates about natural disasters and recovery after catastrophe. Dolomite stands out with sharp limestone peaks, steep cliffs, and the enrosadera effect when the mountains turn bright pink and orange at sunrise and sunset. The name Dolomites comes from a French geologist named Dolomieu, who studied the special dolomite rock found here. In winter, white snow covers the slopes, showing two different but beautiful looks. The ecosystem is rich with lynxes, ibexes, golden eagles, and trees like firs and spruces growing on high slopes. A local legend says the pink light on the mountains is moonlight woven into silk by fairies to comfort a princess in exile. A mix of natural beauty and legend makes Dolomites a deeply emotional and unforgettable place. The Ekenas Archipelago includes hundreds of granite islands along the Baltic Sea, where narrow bays, smooth rocky shores, and birch forests form a quiet, untouched coastal landscape. This area is listed as a wetland of international importance and is home to rare migratory birds and Baltic grey seals. A unique phenomenon known locally is the singing stones, which produce soft ringing sounds at night when sea wind passes through natural cracks. This limited access and fast-changing weather make each trip deeply personal and fully connected to wild nature. The surrounding marine ecosystem remains untouched, with cold water species thriving without human interference. Serrata del Utrero is a narrow gorge formed by water erosion through limestone over thousands of years, located in a mountainous forest region of southern Spain. The gorge is about 130 feet deep, with steep rock walls and several sections narrowed to just over 6 feet wide. A waterfall drops from a height of 65 feet, cascading down natural rock steps into the stream below. In a 1992 geological survey, researchers recorded a water segment that disappeared completely for several hours before reappearing without any detected underground flow. This is a must-visit for those interested in exploring a well-preserved limestone gorge system shaped by natural fissures. Mount Hua is one of the most sacred and famous mountains in China, known for its steep landscape and deep cultural value. The mountain has 5 main peaks, and the highest peak reaches over 7,000 feet, offering wide and impressive views. The land is very steep, with stone paths and wooden bridges near the edge, making it a great challenge for adventure lovers. One of the top experiences is the wooden plank path hanging on the cliff, where visitors wear safety gear and walk carefully. The mountain also has many old temples, which were once used by monks and spiritual people for meditation. Mount Hua stands out not only for its natural beauty, but also as a symbol of strength, showing the connection between humans and nature. Skaftafell is located in Vatnajökull National Park, Iceland, known for its stunning natural landscapes. This area features majestic waterfalls, with Svartifoss being prominent for its black basalt columns stacked on top of each other. Surrounding it are massive glaciers and lush forests, creating a pristine and awe-inspiring environment. This area also holds historical and cultural value tied to Icelandic traditions and folk tales, reflecting the deep connection between people and nature. Skaftafell is not only a natural wonder, but also an important part of Iceland's cultural heritage, contributing to the protection of endemic wildlife and the development of sustainable tourism. Mount Roraima is an ancient tabletop mountain formed about 2 billion years ago, standing around 9,200 feet high with vertical cliffs reaching up to 1,300 feet. The flat summit is often covered with mist, creating the feeling of a floating island in the sky. Waterfalls pour from the cliffs, into deep valleys, while sunlight, through clouds and rocks, creates a surreal and breathtaking scene. It is home to many unique plants and animals like giant pitcher plants, ancient ferns, and rare frogs and butterflies. For native communities, Mount Roraima is a sacred symbol linked to legends about the Tree of Life connecting the heavens and the earth. Mountain climbing and visiting activities are strictly managed to protect the fragile ecosystem and preserve the mountain's magical beauty for future generations. Fulufjället is a flat plateau in Sweden, known for its ancient sandstone terrain, a waterfall about 295 feet high, and vast taiga forest. It is home to Old Chico, a spruce tree confirmed to be the oldest living individual in the world at over 900-500 years old. The area supports typical wildlife, such as moose, brown bears, wolverines, and eagle owls, along with lichens and ancient pine trees. The park has no fixed resorts or tourist infrastructure, only natural trails that help preserve the biological cycle. Traces of ancient Sami people remain in sediments and folklore, especially beliefs about rocks containing ancestral spirits. With stable climate and minimal outside impact, Fulufjället is seen as a model of natural ecological balance in Northern Europe. Lake Atitlan is one of the most beautiful lakes in Guatemala, is surrounded by 3 towering volcanoes, creating a stunning landscape. The water of the lake is clear, surrounded by mountains, lush vegetation, and indigenous villages. Lake Atitlan also holds deep cultural value, as it has been home to Maya communities for thousands of years. The villages around the lake still maintain unique cultural traditions, from rituals and music to traditional crafts like weaving. The lake is not only a natural wonder, but also a symbol of the connection between people and nature. The beauty of the lake changes with the seasons, from turquoise in the rainy season to deep blue in the dry season, offering breathtaking views to visitors. Lucerne sits beside a central Swiss lake, with its old village built directly on uneven rock, causing building floors and foundations to misalign. The houses use local grey stone and thick wood, with simple exterior shapes, but their interiors vary, especially in hallway and stair layouts. In 1982, a survey team found 6 houses with identical exterior dimensions, but completely different entry and passage arrangements. Repeated measurements showed that interior corridors were 1 to 2 feet longer than the total exterior length of each building. There were no signs of renovations, structural shifts, or construction activity between surveys. When interior data no longer matched floor plans, the planning records for the village were suspended without explanation. Sumar National Park is a vast wetland area in southern Estonia, known for the 5th season, when spring floods submerge the entire region due to melting snow. Its landscape remains mostly untouched, with swamps, freely flowing rivers, flooded forests, and wet meadows, creating a quiet environment with no visible modern presence. The park protects a temperate wetland ecosystem home to over 200 bird species and rare mammals like lynx and European beavers. During the flood season, visitors can only travel by dugout canoes made from hollowed tree trunks, offering a close and vivid view of the environment. A curious phenomenon occurs in some forests where the ground swells and sinks irregularly without a clear explanation. The park is also used for short wilderness survival experiences in fully undeveloped natural conditions. Costa Vicentina stretches for over 60 miles along the southwestern coast of Portugal, where rugged rock formations meet the Atlantic Ocean. Cliffs reaching up to 330 feet form a natural wall that curves along the shoreline, enclosing flat sandy stretches and dunes covered in native vegetation. It serves as a migration corridor for many seabird species, and eroded limestone caves at the base of the cliffs offer seasonal shelter. A recorded incident in 1999 described beams of light emerging from underwater during daylight, lasting several minutes with no known origin. Most of the area lies within a national ecological protection zone, making Costa Vicentina one of the few coastal regions in Europe that remains untouched by tourism infrastructure. This is a must-visit destination for those seeking to witness a preserved coastal landscape that has remained nearly unchanged for centuries. Tenforsen is the largest waterfall in Sweden by water flow, located in the northwest part of the country and surrounded by old coniferous forests and low hills. The waterfall is about 125 feet high and 197 feet wide, and during snowmelt season, up to 26,134 cubic feet of water can fall per second, creating a loud but untouched scene. The surrounding area hosts cold-resistant plants like northern dwarf trees, ancient rock mosses, and lichens growing on constantly moist stones. A strange event happens in winter when the waterfall freezes completely, yet water sounds continue to echo under the ice, creating unexplained resonance. Watching the ice break and water burst through in spring is also a rare and powerful experience. Chani Star Podrisami is a glacial lake located at an elevation of about 5,400 feet, oval-shaped and reaching depths of 250 feet, surrounded by steep granite cliffs. The lake water appears deep blue due to light reflection from the ice layer beneath and high levels of dissolved minerals from surrounding rock. Hydrological surveys show a black sediment layer at the lake's bottom that does not reflect sonar, suspected to be remnants of ancient ice blocks from the last glacial period. In 1959, seismic measurements detected abnormal echo waves from beneath the lake with no known origin. A sediment sample from the lake bed revealed deformed plankton shells that do not match any known specimens from adjacent mountain regions. Phong Nha-Ke Bang National Park is a limestone mountain area formed over 400 million years ago, known for its giant caves and untouched forest ecosystem. Some caves are tall enough to hold a building more than 40 stories high, and underground rivers flow for dozens of miles in complete darkness. Stalagmites inside can create echoing sounds like a theater when tapped, and some even glow faintly under natural UV light, a rare natural effect. The temperature inside the caves stays around 68 degrees Fahrenheit all year, no matter what the weather is like outside. Certain sections are so narrow that only one person can crawl through. Then they suddenly open into spaces as big as stadiums. Some fish and creatures living in the caves have no eyes after evolving for thousands of years in total darkness. Hoge Veluwe is the largest national park in the Netherlands, covering more than 103,343 acres, and it includes pine forests, dry grasslands, and shifting white sand dunes. The landscape changes with the seasons, especially in August, when the area turns purple due to blooming heather. It is one of the few places in Europe where red deer and wild boar still live naturally with stable populations. The park also has Bronze Age archaeological mounds believed to be burial sites, though their exact purpose is still unknown. Some parts of the park have unusual geological layers that alter how native plant species grow compared to nearby regions. No one sees Wengen from a distance. It only appears when the train sinks into the clouds and the silence grows too perfect to be accidental. The village rests over 4,000 feet high with no roads leading in. Its houses still built from interlocked timber without a single nail. When fog covers the ground, people in the village can no longer see their own feet, only rooftops floating above the cold mist. Residents here never lock their doors, never leave during moonless months, and never speak if the church bell rings 3 times at 3 a.m. Behind the cemetery lies a sealed stone tunnel, its rusted iron lock untouched, though some claim they heard voices calling from inside, steady, low, and not from anyone they knew. Since the last time that sound was heard, the tunnel has gone still, and the cemetery keeper's house has remained empty ever since. Muren sits halfway up a sheer cliff at over 5,400 feet, unreachable by car and only accessible by cable car or an old cogwheel train, as if placed outside the map of modern life. Its name comes from an old word meaning wind wall, fitting the enclosed position where strong winds arrive, but silence always remains. Traditional wooden houses with deep-sloped roofs, dark shutters, and flowered balconies seem untouched since the last century. Villagers live off the land, practice crafts, and every winter they raise a sacred tree in the square, believed to protect the village from snowstorms. A narrow crack behind the old church is tied to a legend. If you whisper your name there at winter dawn, the echo returns the name of the last person who stood there. What sets Muren apart is not its beauty, but the feeling that it holds a separate timeline, untouched by the outside world. Brienz is an old wooden village beside a lake where people never lean chairs against walls due to past reports of furniture moving by itself at night. Every home contains at least one unnamed wood carving placed in the east-facing window as part of a ritual from before written records. In 1911, the villagers covered all mirrors with black cloth for 3 weeks after believing the reflections moved when no one was present. A stone path leading to the lake only appears fully during rain, once connecting to a sealed carving workshop closed for over a century. Residents say each Sunday evening, right after sunset, a triple knock echoes through the village and must never be answered. Brienz has no regular festivals, only one night each year when every light is turned off and villagers sit at their doorsteps as if waiting for something to return. Interlaken lies between two lakes, yet has no clear boundary separating it from the forests and mountains. A detail marked on old maps with the note, "Not fixed." Some stone houses stand on wooden blocks from the 17th century with no contact to the ground, believed to prevent the sinking of old memories. In summer, a patch of land on the northern edge remains grassless, yet locals still trim it regularly as part of a protective ritual. Though its name means between lakes, locals call it the buffer zone and never explain why to outsiders. Zermatt is a village without cars, yet every late autumn, locals still hear engine sounds echoing through the valley from a direction no one can identify. Beneath the stone floor of the old train station lies a sealed basement where maps were found that do not match the current terrain. One of them shows Zermatt with 3 peaks instead of 1. The village's stone and wood houses all have round windows facing west, and on October 17th, sunlight passes through every window at once for less than a minute. A local legend tells of the one who walks against the season, a figure that appears when the snow begins to melt, but leaves footprints heading uphill instead of down. No one holds outdoor events in Zermatt after sunset because of an unusually thick fog that hides the paths in less than 10 minutes. Villagers call this the dim hour. Inside the oldest house in the village, there is a wooden plaque carved with writing in an unknown language, and to this day, no one has been able to translate it. Crans-Montana sits on a wide plateau, but no one can define the village's true border because many small paths vanish after winter. Some houses here are built from thin stacked stones with no binding material, yet they have stood for centuries without any clear explanation. Locals tell of a phenomenon on February 29th in leap years when the mountain lake becomes perfectly still and reflects a sky that does not match the real weather. There is a bell tower in the village with no bell inside, but anyone who approaches hears a metallic sound from nowhere. At the village center stands an old stone pillar, split down the middle, and the crack has never changed, despite centuries of earthquakes and snowstorms. Saas-Fee sits among snowy peaks, but no one recalls when the village began avoiding all activity during the first full moon night of spring. Old houses are built entirely from blackened wood, standing on stone disc columns with no fixed foundation to prevent something from coming up from below, according to local stories. A narrow path behind the church leads to a tight mountain crack where sound does not echo and birds never fly over. This place is not marked on any map. Villagers leave an empty chair outside their homes during the first snowfall as a way to signal they are still present. In 1924, a group of travelers disappeared after following a singing voice from the mountain slope, and all search equipment failed when approaching their last known location. Whenever a new resident arrives for long-term stay, locals gift them a small bell that must never be hung, only kept under the bed. Sion is located in the main valley of the Valais region, with the old village built on elevated rock and surrounded by dry slopes and ancient soil from glacial deposits. The streets in the village are arranged in a fan shape centered on a rocky summit, which served as a strategic lookout point during Roman times. Many houses still rest on original dry stone foundations, stacked by hand without mortar, designed to withstand minor ground shifts without modern reinforcements. In 1931, during drainage work, a hidden wall of unusual stone was uncovered beneath ancient soil layers containing deep circular cavities with no known function and no mention in historical records. Anomalous static electricity was once recorded in this area during spring, when dry metal surfaces not touching the ground gave off small sparks. Although Sion is now a major administrative and transport hub, the old village retains separate planning rules and strict material restrictions. Verbia was once a high plateau with no human presence for centuries, covered by snow and steep mountains that made access nearly impossible. Before becoming a destination for professional skiers, the area only had weathered stone huts used briefly by herders before they moved on. Even after people settled, locals kept speaking of the strange echoes, deep sounds coming from the mountain whenever there was no moon, no wind, and no movement. Some believe the sounds come from an unexplored cave system, but all expeditions failed due to snow collapses and falling rocks. Though Verbier is now a famous resort, many residents still believe that old hidden paths lie under the snow, leading to places no one has reached. Its isolation, harsh terrain, and unverified legends give Verbier the character of a mysterious village in the heart of the Alps. Davos sits in a narrow valley at about 5,100 feet, surrounded by steep mountain slopes and thin air year-round, and was once a retreat for tuberculosis patients in the late 19th century. The developed urban space was built over old sanatorium camps, and many buildings still keep their original forms with long hallways, large windows, and sun balconies. Though now a global conference center, a local tale says that on snowy days, faint voices can be heard through old window cracks, believed to be messages from those who never left the former clinics. The name Davos likely comes from the Rhaeto-Romanic word Tavos, meaning deep cold valley. What makes Davos unique is not just its mix of old and new, but the lasting presence of its past that refuses to be erased by time.